Hello, my loves, and welcome to your May energy update and forecast. Oh, this month, I just want to kind of sit in this energy for a moment. This month feels like a metamorphosis. It feels so impactful and transformational. April was really about integrating the new earth frequencies. It was really about integrating that into our being. And there's a divine difference between intellectual comprehension, right? The mental understanding of something that we've learned or we've heard about for years, or that we've just channeled or that we've known, and actual knowledge. And knowledge is something that we have embodied, which means our actions, our automatic actions showcase that we actually know, right? So, an example of this would be when you get up and walk, you don't have to know how to walk, you just walk. And so I bring that example up because April was about the comprehension. It was about bringing it internally. It was about practicing it. It was about working with it. That's part of the integrating, right? You're bringing it into your life, into your body, into your reality. Whereas May is building the foundations of knowledge. This comes with many moving parts, though, right? We have the collective version of this and we have our individual version of this. But within the individual aspect, we'll start with is this energy of what only can be described as a full and complete identity shift. It is about walking away, letting go of all people, places, and things that aren't serving your being. And you know what those are. You know what those are. You do. You have an inherent knowing of what you need to let go of. And as I have been sharing for months since we had the tsunami of light come in and begin to usher the new earth in, is you cannot move forward in the new frequencies, holding the baggage that is not meant for you to carry. Again, the things that are heavy, the things that are entangled, the things that are burdening us, those things are not ours to carry. They may be projections or imprints placed upon us that we have accepted. And that's the key. When you accept that into your reality, it becomes a part of you. You are saying, this is mine. And though it is not, you have chosen to carry it. So it becomes heavy. It becomes baggage. It can make you feel weighed down. It can make you feel stuck. It can make you feel frozen, confused. And because of that, and because all of us at this moment, or most of us at this moment, are still carrying some things, there's a large potential for there to be events that happen, circumstances that happen in your personal life or on the collective world stage that are going to ignite you and help liberate you. And this can sometimes feel like chaos or shock and awe or awakening or disruption. It can be us losing a relationship, a job, moving, things just happening in our life or big events on the collective world stage. And so it's important to hold this in the back of your mind as you move forward each day, right? It's not to be hypervigilant. It's just to spend more time in awareness. It's spending more time observing versus absorbing. And for those that may still be in that apathy or feeling that disconnected energy, I want to remind you that you are not disconnected. You are never disconnected. You are always 100% connected. When we feel disconnected, it's a disconnection from self. It's an avoidance of what we want to feel, or that we avoidance of what we want to face. And we've already stepped into the era, and it is an era of authenticity, which requires transparency. And as we've already seen, many celebrities, politicians, and influencers on social media beginning to fall from grace because they were not authentic to who they were or transparent about what they were doing. And that is something that we can no longer hide. Nobody can hide behind anything anymore. It will always come to light. And this is why I feel like it is a massive identity shift, because we are being called to be authentically who we are. And in order to do that, we have to strip ourselves. We have to let go of all the beliefs and programming and burdens that we have defined ourselves by and chosen to carry. And there are identities entwined in a lot of those things. And it's really, really important that we choose ourselves. Doesn't mean you can't consider someone else, don't get it twisted, but choose and consider ourselves and what's in alignment for us. And when things happen, to not hold on so tightly, right? Like the 38 Special song, Hold On Loosely. Hold on loosely. Allow what needs to fall away to fall away. Allow what needs to come in to come in. Allow what needs to be ignited in order to liberate and catapult you to happen. And don't resist it or fight with it or allow yourself to go into the victim energy. Instead, choose to see this as you accessing the most realist, truest form of you. This month, collectively, we begin to also lay the foundations of the new earth frequencies. That process will take much longer than the month of May. However, we are starting that process. And so I would not be surprised if there were some big announcements or shifts and changes or things that take place on the world stage, because when we are having a massive metamorphosis or identity shift, and we can have an identity shift within our country, right? So whatever country you're hearing this from, or state or space or province, it's your space can have an identity shift as well. Whenever that's taking place, there's things in a metamorphosis, there's a death and a rebirth. There is a changing of the energy. There is a process of alchemy and transmutation, and it needs to be honored. And yes, the continuation of the throat chakra upgrades, and just the throat chakra in general is going to be continuing, because there whenever there is big events that happen on the world stage, wherever that is, there is oftentimes people who feel compelled to speak out about it. And same with your own personal life. When things happen, you might be called to speak out about it. And maybe that big metaphoric change that you're going through isn't something that's happening necessarily to you. It's you stepping into that new identity and shocking the world by showing up completely different than who they've always known you to be. And letting go of the fear of doing that out of the fear of losing people or being judged by people. You see what I'm saying? So this really is um, big, powerful energy that we are going to be stepping into. And it is a time to slow down, to be more intentional, be more methodical, and more observant, looking at what feels familiar. And when you find that familiarity, asking yourself, what choices do I have here? And what is the choice that I've always made? And recognizing the crossroads of choosing differently when it's necessary. Because when we start to build the building blocks, it requires us to be different, to act different, to show up differently. I have been going through my metamorphosis ahead of you as expected. As you can see, my hair is different, and this has been its own metamorphosis. It's multidimensional. It's a dirty, dark blonde, sandy blonde, light brown mix. It's closer to my natural coloring. It's more authentic to who I am. And when I look at the bleach blonde photographs of me, now I was born a towhead. I was born white blonde. Um, but that evolved as I grew, and I kept holding on to that identity, right? I have a whole podcast wrapped in it, The Cosmic Blonde. And it's not that I'm no longer blonde, it's just a different shade of blonde, but it's more authentic to who I am. But I've been going through this own metamorphosis of feeling like I want to tear my skin off and jump out of it and be free and to allow things to move through me. And my channeling has been on point and my new healing processes have been showing up. And I feel like there's even a new course or masterclass that will be coming called Identity that's being birthed right now. And things are shifting and changing, and instead of resisting it or fighting with it or over analyzing it, I'm just allowing it. I'm just answering the call to make the shift and change and trusting that process. And there's been such massive healing in that moment. I mean, even in the metamorphosis of me going back to more of my natural hair color, the first phase of changing that, my hair came out more red, a more brownish red color. And I had that hair for a whole week. And I have always avoided having my hair anywhere near that color because when I would look in the mirror, I would see my mother. And I had such a big gaping mother wound from my abandonment wound that when I thought of that, it made my skin crawl. It made me, I despised it. I couldn't stand it. And this time it was different, right? It was unexpected. We didn't expect my hair to turn red in the process of going back. And I almost left it, to be honest, but I knew the last minute I was like, no, this is not where I stop. I need to keep allowing for the energy to change form. I'm meant to go back to who authentically me. I'm not meant to be my mother. But when I looked in the mirror, I no longer felt disgust and despise. I no longer cringed. I had love and I saw me and her and me. And that was oh, I got chills. That was a very healing opportunity. And so everything is by design. And that's an important example of just allowing for things. Same with my side, one of the streams of income I have is pet and house sitting. And the universe always moving me and placing me right where I need to be when I need to be it, whether it's by water or nature during certain alignments and things, and just allowing for that to unfold, even if I don't want to. Like I didn't want to do the house sits, but part of surrender is letting go of what you want, knowing that you don't know everything and that the universe is supporting you in ways that you can't see. And it could be completely amazing. It could be something better than you ever imagined. And in my case, it's always worked out that way. So it's just a reminder that we have to let go. It's a reminder that we have to feel. It's a reminder that we have to allow for the energy to change and move through us so that we can shapeshift and become who we were authentically meant to be. And what I have discovered through this process is who we think we authentically and who we actually authentically are two different things. I do want to take a moment and just say, if you're new to me, I'm Johanna Burkhardt. I'm a multidimensional channel, teacher, healer, and self-help author. And my mission is to help you to be the change that you want to see so that you can create the reality that you are desiring. And I do that by helping you to learn how to shift your frequency, learn to read and discern the energy, right? Really tune into yourself, your intuition, develop those skills. And I have recently opened a beautiful membership community called EVOLVE. And EVOLVE is the next level of me. It's me choosing to honor those who are committed to the evolution, which is a journey. And so I want to provide similar benefits to those who are committed to the journey as I offer in private mentorship, meaning you have a chat with me, meaning we have a group call where we get on Zoom and you can work with me and have your time with me. It means you have access to every piece of content that I've ever created, which includes 10 plus digital courses. And it will also include, for the people who pay yearly, any brand new courses. So if I do launch Identity this month, they will automatically get it without having to pay for it because for those who have paid the yearly option. If you choose the monthly option, once you have been a member for 3+ months, you will get access to the new live courses. But inside Evolve, you also get a 50% discount on sessions with me. Again, I want to reward and encourage those who are dedicated and committed to being on this evolutionary growth path. They will get exclusive access to my upcoming book that I am almost finished editing. So I've been putting up chapters in the community. I will be raffling off a 30-minute free session with me once a month to somebody in the group. There's so much value in it, and I want to give value and pour into those who, again, who are dedicated to this path and show my appreciation for them. And this is my way of doing that and being able to serve more people in a greater capacity than maybe I could in private mentorship. Not that I'm never going to stop private mentoring, by the way, and I do have space open for that. But right now, I want to focus on really being available in a way that is supportive of myself and my energy, um, and also of those who join the Evolve community. So you can learn more about that in the description below. There are 7 spaces, by the way, left for if you pay the yearly option. There's 7 more opportunities to receive a free 90-minute session with me. So if you're one of the next 7 people to sign up for the yearly rate, you pay the year in advance, you will get a notification within 24 hours to book a 90-minute session with me. Those are not for sale, by the way. There's no way to get those unless you're a private mentor student. It doesn't mean you can't sign up for the yearly option after that, but it will be removed from the landing page. This 90-minute offer will be removed from the landing page when all spots are filled. So if you click on it and you don't see that, you'll know that the 90-minute session is no longer available for free, right? We filled all those spaces. So returning to this beautiful energy, I feel like the liberation, the turning point is going to happen more around the Scorpio full moon. Scorpio as a Scorpio rising and as someone who has Scorpio in the 12th house as well, which is the basically the house of death and rebirth, and Scorpio is the death and rebirth energy. I can tell you that it's usually something that catches you off guard. It catches you by surprise. And again, maybe you are the one who's surprising people, right? By you changing so much. And this metamorphosis, again, this has been happening since the tsunami of light came in the beginning of December. So it's been a culmination of energy that you've been feeling these shifts. Maybe you've been like me, feeling called to change your hair, change the way that you talk, the way that you walk, the way that you dress, the activities you do, the people you surround yourself with. But it's also a call for you to stand in your power and to really strengthen that inner knowing and that inner stability inside you of who you are, and holding that structure so that when the winds of change come, you're so rooted in yourself that you can allow yourself to bend and sway and not break. You allow yourself to flow, but at the same time, you're still rooted in your truth. You're still rooted in who you are and what's true for you. But that wind's going to come in, and it's going to see how flexible you are, how willing you are to surrender, and how willing you are to let go, and how willing you are to bend or to adapt. And so for some, this may feel like a test. It may feel like grief or a loss, or again, a situation that angers you or catapults you. But know that that's happening for you. It's a beautiful thing. Um, I would also like to say I feel the weather this year, and I feel like I've talked about this before, but I'm really feeling right now is a time to bring focus. Mother Nature is really going to be assisting us in this massive clearing, right? She, meaning Gaia, is going through a metamorphosis with us as she morphs into holding more of the fifth dimensional frequencies and allowing that to be the frequency that we're immersed in. So that's she's going through this metamorphosis just as much as we are. And so I feel like, for years we talked about watch the water. We talked about volcano eruptions, and currently we've broken a record of volcanoes active. There is this massive release. I feel like this is going to be one of the record years of tornadoes and the damage caused by that. I feel like this is going to be a record year with hurricanes. I feel like there's, earthquakes. I feel like there's just going to be a lot of eruptions, which are simply releases. We are also in a couple year span of what the guides call the mass exodus. And so these big worldly events and weather events come in, and sometimes we lose people, places, and things. And we have to remind ourselves that nobody's life is ever taken from them. It is a choice by the soul when to take an off ramp or when it's time for their exit. And I don't say that to invoke fear, but in a form of this is a time of also of appreciation and really appreciating and accepting things for how they are while having boundaries and standards at the same time. Again, this is the year of forgiveness. So when you can love and accept someone for how they are and find a way to have them in your life and appreciate the little small things, that is a beautiful thing. For me, I think the biggest shift that has come and something that you guys can look forward to is I have invited my ex-husband to come on Cosmic Blonde and talk about how he experienced my awakening and what he saw and what he struggled with and how he felt, and really have a back and forth uh, to help people. But I couldn't have done that even 6 months ago or a year ago. I wasn't in a space to. But the level of appreciation that I have for him right now, for being one of my greatest teachers by mirroring back to me the patterns and beliefs and behaviors and choices that I was making that called in that relationship and other relationships, and really allowed me to have no choice but to look at it and make different choices to help me break those cycles and patterns. And so for that, I feel like he is one of my greatest teachers and one of my greatest mirrors. And I just got chills down my spine. Um, and when we can look at those that have hurt us or left us, and we can appreciate what it's given us, what it's shown us, what it's taught us, who it's made us to be, we let go of the hurt and the pain, and we change the entire game. We change the past. We change the story. We change the energy, right? This is the metamorphosis. And when we forgive, we are forgiving back the burdens and the beliefs and the programmings that we accepted when it was projected. And we say, this is no longer mine, and I return it to you with grace and compassion and love. And I choose to live authentically in my truth. And I no longer accept your version of me or your truth of who I should be. We release the shoulds and the coulds. We're breaking free of the ties that have bound us. But this month also feels like great momentum, because when we start to build the building blocks, that's a movement. So you may feel called to change your body, to move more, to change the way that you eat. I know for me, I'm going through that more metamorphosis myself too. I'm getting ready to go into what's called a cut. I'm always been very healthy eater, and I've always worked out, but I'm taking it to another level. I feel this call to have this inner strength and this physical strength that I've never had before, and I'm just following it. I'm just going with it. Let me see what happens. Let me see where this takes me. Let me see what this does for me. And so this is an invitation for you to answer the call within you, to allow for the metamorphosis to happen, to allow for that identity shift to take place, to allow the identity of the world stage to change, no matter what country you're in or state you're in. Within that is chaos. There's within that are things that we feel like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, or why are they doing this? It doesn't make any sense. But oftentimes, the things that don't make sense, we look back on 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years and go, I'm so grateful that happened. I didn't understand it at the time, but I understand now why it needed to happen that way, and that that was the only way, because you can't bypass things anymore. You have to go through them. And anybody that tries to bypass things, it's just, they're just going to keep going around and around the same thing over and over again, because again, the only way is through a call to feel, to face, to choose. This is a game at the end of the day, an experience of frequency, an experience of love, an experience of emotion. We don't need to take it personally. We do not need to take what's happening in our reality in the world and bring it into our person as meaning anything about us. We just get to take the ride of life and get excited about what the next stop might be, what the next opportunity might be, who's the next person we might meet, and what are they offering us? Because it's always an exchange. There's always an offering taking place. So this is an exciting, potent, very visceral experience we're about to have. And I'm so excited for all of us, because this shift of us becoming the authentic, open-hearted, transparent, loving beings that working together that we are meant to be. This is the beginning of building that. And I'd love to support you any way I can. So whether that's Evolve or sessions or private mentorship or just joining in on the conversation in the comments, know that there are many ways in which I support you. And I'd also like to say that through this broadcast, we have had some very potent frequencies coming in from the ancients. And so I invite you to just sit with me for a moment and breathe. And we're going to allow these frequencies to kind of settle into your root, and begin to allow for that unlocking of your spine and the remembrance of who you are. So I invite you, as long as you're not driving, to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Nice and slow exhales. Just going to do a few of these in and out, breathing in. Nice and slow out. And one more time, breathing in and out. Oshatakarena, Tokora Ata Ish, no Korarena, Aterika, Arena, Shokorana Ena, Otokonana Ena, Mana Arauna, Shokodon Arena, Aterkenina Atoro, Atakarina A, Akarino, Utkana Ana Esno, O Utkana Ana Ish, no Kararena, Oshnokono Ona A, Aterini Ushno, Otane Erikerina, Onda Karadina, Eshnokonadina. Feel where your back opens behind your heart and lungs, really opening that up and allowing for your new wings to be birthed and your new antennas to perk and attune you to the vibration within you that is wanting to become your base. Taking one last deep breath. This is a blessing. Being here at this time of such great transformation. We get to be here. We get to have experiences. We get to learn. We get to love, and we get to choose. Surrender is the ultimate control, because it's reminding you that you set a plan in motion long before you incarnated. And surrendering is trusting in that divine plan that you created and not allowing your ego to try to control what it wants or what it thinks it needs. And instead, trusting in the divine path within your being. Thank you so much for listening to this transmission, and I will see you in the next update. Namaste.